Hi, it's Jane here from craftwithjayne.co.uk, and today I'm taking part in the Stamp Around UK video hop, and the project was to use scraps. So I wanted to showcase my treat bag mini album. So I've got some of the Stampin' Up treat bags, and I've got a couple left over, and I've got absolutely loads of scraps in cardstock and designer series paper. So I wanted to show you a cute little way of using up your irregular shaped scraps. So I've made this really sweet little mini album, which I think I'm going to gift to a friend, because I have friends that come stay with me that I trained with because I work in healthcare, and I wanted to make them some gifts. And I thought that we could take some pictures and we could do a bit of journaling together and make a little mini album of our stay when they come to visit. So this was my idea, and you can see I've used all different irregular sizes of the cardstock and the designer series paper to use up all of the pieces, and I just thought it's a really cute little album. And you can see that I've used the treat bags and the designer in colour, to actually form the bulk of the pages within my album. So I thought this would be a great way of using up all my scraps, and I felt that that would make the project brief. So I just wanted to show you, this is how I store all of my cardstock scraps. So as you can see, I've got absolutely loads in here. The paper that I'm going to use, because I've got lots of scraps in the beautiful green colours, and the paper that I'm going to be using is this gorgeous online exclusive called Hello Irresistible, and I do have quite a lot of the pinks as well and the peaches, but I'm going to actually do the greens out of that pack in there. And these are my bags. These are the 2023-2025 in colour bags, and this came in a pack of 25. I've actually sent some of my customer gifts out in some, and I had a couple of the sheets left over. I had a few of the Pebbles Path. So for this you need 3 of the treat bags, and I am going to put them in and then score them all exactly the same. So I'm going to be scoring them 3 1/4 and 3 1/2. So I am going to then burnish my score lines, and it does create just like a little show you, just a little fold in the bag, just like that, and that's what will then open up and create the pages. So these are my 3 bags, and then I'm going to use my tear and tape, and I'm going to tape up one of the sides of each of them so that I can glue them together. So I will really focus on the edges because I don't want it to tear, and then I'll just put a few through the middle like this, and I'll do that on all 3 of the bags. Okay, so I've now put all of my tape on all 3 of them. I'm just going to peel off one at a time and glue it to the bag that goes before it. So I'll take all of my pieces just off like this, and then I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to fold this one like this as well, and then I will try as best as I can to align the 2 bags together and create and press down. And then those 2 will be glued together just like that. So then I'm creating that spine just there. I'm going to align it up again. And press down just like that. And then when I open it up, I'll have my 3 pieces just like that, which create my book, and then I'm going to need to straighten this out with a nice spine that I'll make out of cardstock. And before I do that, I'm going to actually put some more tape on the outside of this one, because I will be gluing front pieces onto this as well. So I'll just pop some tape like this here, just to make sure we've got things nice and secure. There we go. And I will be using some wet glue as well, but just for this bit I'll use my tear and tape. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna probably glue my spine on. So my spine, I've cut my cardstock and my DSP out of scraps. And I think I'm gonna stick with this hash pattern. I'm gonna use some wet glue for this. And I'll pop a little bit on just like this. And I will, all of the measurements, I'm happy to tell you the measurements for the outside bits, but the inner bits will be less measurement and more just using what scraps I have. I'll put some tear and tape on this one as well, because I just want to make sure the glue, it doesn't move about too much. So for the spine, I've used a cardstock layer of 4 3/4 by 3/4, and then the DSP layer is 4.5 by 1/2. There we go. And then I'm going to take this off. Oops. And this one just here. So if I lay that flat and I press this down like this and gently hold it in place, then yeah, and then I'll press down, and that is the spine of my book, my little mini album. So that is the spine in place just there. Now you can see I've got these edge bits here. Now I personally am gonna trim these off because I want mine to stay relatively neat. So I'm going to get my little trimmer out and just trim those edge bits off there. I'm going to put these in to place, and I will trim them like that. Okay, so now I'm going to put my front pieces on and my back pieces, and I've cut these out of some of the scraps that I had, and they measure, cardstock is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. The DSP is 4.5 by 3. I'm just going to glue my DSP into place for both of these. Okay, so they're both glued into place. I'm now going to flatten this a little bit, and I'm going to remove the tear and tape. Okay, and then this is going to be the front of my album, so I'm going to place this into where I need it to be. Let's just have a little look. Yeah, that's great. So I'll just make sure that I am as straight as I can be. There we go. So that is the album. I'm gonna tie some ribbon around here. I'm just going to make sure I've got enough cut off. I will be securing it on the front when I put my decoration on the front. You can actually stick this under the DSP layer if that's what you would like to do. I think I did that on this one just here, but you don't have to. You can have it running, which is what I'm going to do with this one, just like this. So I'll probably snip it off now, and just like that. And I think I'll put a little bit of tear and tape on the front and I'll try and line it up so it's sort of straight. And I'll put that about here, and I'll take this off and I'll throw that paper just like this. There we go. And then do it that way. Is that about equal? Yep, there we go. And then what I'll do is I'll probably put another little bit under here as well, just to keep the back of it on straight. Just here, like so. And then I'll get this off, and then my ribbon's in place, ready for the front decorating, which I'll do towards the end of the project. There we go. So that is my journal ties in place, nice and secure. Okay, so now I'm going to get to decorating my pages. So I'm going to start with my front sheet. So I'm going to take some of my scraps out. So 4 5/8, and it's going to be 6 1/4. So just do that with it, 6 1/4, and I'm going to score it at 3 1/8, just like this. And then I'm going to fold it in there, and I'm going to burnish it, and then I'm going to just double check that it meets, and it does, and then it will fold like that, and then it will open up. So I'm going to glue this into place. Like so. And that is lovely. And that opens up like that then, and then I can decorate. So, and I literally, when I'm decorating, I'll literally pull out a piece, see if it fits. This one's actually a little bit too big, but I basically see if it fits, and then I'll glue it into place. Sometimes I'll make it so it completely covers, and other times I'll make it so it's got a tiny border. Actually, this does have a tiny border on it, so that's perfect. So I literally will glue on the back of here and just add it into place. And like so. And I literally just, I don't even size these pieces. I just see what works and trim it as I need to make it fit, because I'm using scraps. So that's on the inside just there. So already we've got our first piece here. I would probably put another piece, maybe of coordinating. Sometimes I'll do it like this on the bottom of here, and I'll have some white up there to stick a picture or to do some journaling. So I'll just do that like so. And then, or I'll even put 2 patterns together. So let's have a little look. I've got some other scraps here, and this scrap might, is that there? And that scrap then might fit like this. So then I'll just get my pencil and I'll mark it just there, and then I'll use my new little trimmer and cut like that. And then just see, does that fit? Yeah, it does. Perfect. So I'll glue this, this on. So I think this is, you can see that when I'm doing something like these little mini treat albums, I treat them very much like I'm scrapbooking. When I'm scrapbooking, I don't really stick to measurements. I just put things where I like and then add bits in as if I'm junk journaling a little bit. So that's there. And then for this piece, I'm going to get my scrap of my whites out. I'll just show you, this is my scrap of my whites. It's huge. And then I am going to simply find a piece that works. I will simply mark off where I want my lines to be, and I'll trim it down like so. And make sure it fits and it's got a relatively equal border. Yeah, happy, that looks like it's quite an equal border. And for this one, I'm going to use my very best trio punch, and I'm going to punch all of my corners like so, because I just think it makes it look more journally. It's got a beautiful like scallopy edge, and then I'll pop that on there just like so, so it's kind of equal. And then you can either stick a picture and it looks like it's got a lovely frame to it, or you can write your journal in, or you can type up your journaling and add it. So I'm just gonna center that. It's actually a little bit more. There we go. And press that down. Now, with my inside, with these little bits just here, I'm actually going to glue these to create my corners, which I do enjoy doing. So I'm just going to see which way round I want them. Quite like them like that, actually. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue on here, just like this. And then I might use my pick tool and, oops, just see if I can get them. Actually, my pick tool didn't work. And I'm just going to put those in the corners. So it almost makes it look like it's a framed piece of artwork. So I'll do that with all of the four corners. It's quite a subtle look, but I do think it looks really special. It does make it look like almost vintagey. Now you could do this with like silver or gold to make it almost look like an antique frame, but I'm happy using my white for this one. And I'm just gluing up each of these four corners and popping those in there, because this is a project that uses scraps, and these would be, if I didn't use them, these would be basically scraps. So I would like to use up everything that I can on this project so that it fits the brief of using up your scraps. There we go. So that is my four corners on there. I'll do that on the back as well. And that is the first page completed just there. So then I'll move on to this page, and I'm going to make a smaller, I'm going to make a larger border around this one, because I do want it to show the perforation just there. So if I do it this way, the good thing about these bags is you can almost use these bags to be able to let you know where you want your lines to be cut, because they're grid. Okay, so I've got this one just like this, and if I do it this way, and then see if that fits. Yeah, it does, and it gives me quite, if I bend that up, so that would be like this, and that gives me a nice little grid around it as well. So I'll pop this in place like so, and I'll press that down just like that. So we've got this one here, then we've got this one placed on here, and I'm going to use this pocket for something to be popped inside there as well. So I'll press this down, let it dry, and then I'm going to get another piece of my scraps out. There we go, that looks quite a good one. And then I'm going to put this inside here, work out how deep I would like it to go. Probably, yeah, probably about there, probably similar to this. So I'll just mark it. Mark it about here, And then I'm going to get my trimmer back out. I will use the scoring tool to score that. And then I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to trim it. If I do this, use my pencil to mark off. You can kind of see how this goes and how quick something like this is to put together. So I can pop that just there like that and pop that there. So this is going to be pretty much the back layer. So I'll just do that with it, and then I'm going to do this with it. And pop this in the middle like so. And then I could basically journal as well on there. Lovely. And that is simply going to sit at the back there, so it's not actually a big piece for decoration, but it's quite a subtle piece that I could do a little bit of journaling towards the back. And this would sit in, once it's all dry and it doesn't peel, it would sit in like so. I'm going to trim it along here, and then I'll score it just here, and then I'll bend it that way, and then I'm going to trim it a little bit more just to make sure it lines up perfectly. Glue on the back of here, and I'll put this, whoops, a daisy. I'm going to put it on this way because I've just glued that in, and just wriggle it so I get an even border. This, basically, I'm going to cover this in glue, and then I'm going to place this with the yellow side up along the edge and just press it down like that. Then I'm going to do this with it, and then I will simply cut along. So I'll probably use my trimmer, but I will just cut along the edge like so to take off. I need to take a tiny bit more off there, just to trim away my excess. For this side, this might be a little bit trickier, and I might need to use a scissors. No, I think that's okay. And that is, so that's covering the whole of the inside on this section, just like that. So when I glue that into place, and when this flips up, it'll be complete pattern on there. So you can see that it's coming together now, like I said, there's no fine measurements with this. Definitely done some measurements for the outside, but the inside is very much a case of you just basically use your scraps. So you're just finding pieces that will work. Okay, I think that is about centered. Lovely. So that's glued on nicely and that flips up. I need to get cover for the front of that one. Okay, so this is the last pull out on this side, just here. So I'm just going to pop this in. I'm really going through all of my scraps. So I am literally just pulling out bits that I think will fit, and I'm just making them fit. I'm either cutting them down or making borders around them. So this is such a cathartic process for me to literally go through my scraps. I think I've halved, I think I've approximately halved what I had in my scrap stash. So I am thrilled. Okay, so I've pressed that down. So that is the page for there. And then I think this is my last page in the journal, and this is just a blank page to stick on the back, the inside back. So I've literally just got a plain piece, and I thought I could put a nice picture in here if I was journaling. I could tape this on, but it's actually not too bulky, so I'm going to glue this one on. That's fine. If it's sort of rounded, I tend to try to tape, but as it's not, I'm happy to glue. And I'll just press this down then in there. Okay, I think this may be the inside of the journal complete. So it's just a little bit of decoration on the front now. So I think I'm going to use the circle sayings again. I'm going to use this one here, and I'm probably going to say, because you're awesome again. I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon because that's the ribbon, and I've used it quite a lot throughout the little mini album, the treat bag mini album. So I'm going to stamp up. Beautiful. Absolutely love this colour. And then I'm gonna get the sentiment, and I'm just gonna place the sentiment like this, and then I'm going to get the coordinating punch that goes with the circle sayings, and it's the 2 3/8. That's a great size punch. And then I'm just going to try and line my sentiment up and punch. Lovely. And that can sit on the front beautifully there. And here's my stamping dimensionals. I'm going to put a couple on the top, 3, leave a little gap for the ribbon, and I'll pop 3 down here as well. So just pull the backings off, and then I'll just see if I've got any gems that I think will go nicely as well. So let's have a little look. I'm going to just turn this up to me and then pop that in there. So I'm going to pop 1 in there and then a couple down here, I think, like that. And there we go. And then I'm going to show you the inside and then I'll tie it all up for you. So this is the first page just here, and then this is the pull out section because the gift bags have made these lovely little pockets that you can just pop things into, and I've chosen to make these to pop into them, which I can then journal on and stick photos on. And then I've got a flip top, and I've used the corners, I've used all the scraps I can, And I've got this second journal to put a picture on. I've got another pull out just here. And you can do things on all of the sides of these pull out sections. So I'll just pop that back like that. And then for this one, I've got another pull out here. Just something there, nice matte layer for a photo, and then I can do some journaling, some photos, stick anything I want in there. So this is the project. As you can see, I've put a layer on the back. I've put these corners just there, and I've done the corners that were left over from the matte layers inside, and then I'll just tie it in a bow. And this is the completed treat bag mini albums, and I've done this project for the Stamp Around UK video hop with all of my lovely fellow demonstrators. So please do, once you finish watching this video, do follow the links below and hop along and watch all of the other videos of some of the amazing demonstrators that I'm lucky enough to call friends. The theme this month was to use your scraps, and I definitely have used loads of my scraps. I've basically used at least half of the scraps that I actually had in my A4 pocket, so I am thrilled. I think I've met the brief. So certainly my own brief I've met, because I've used quite a lot of my scrap products left over. So I hope that you've enjoyed the video, and like I said, please do hop along to watch everyone else. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator and you reside within any of the countries in Europe Stampin' Up sells in, please consider shopping with me. I would be honoured to earn your custom. I do send out lovely thank you packs each month that you shop with me. It's definitely worth giving me a shot, giving me a go. I'm probably going to say bye for now, guys, and happy crafting.